Get out of here.
Yeah, but their connection is so strong. He sends her that deep dish pizza feast, perfect Chicago comfort food when she's feeling isolated.
Their dialogue feels so real, too. That playful, aye, aye, Captain, and I love you, too. You feel a history there?
He's her anchor to her old life, really. The last bit of solid ground before everything flips upside down.
And that flip happens.
Welcome to Witter, Who Has Time to Read, the podcast that brings deep dives for busy minds. You're listening to our Indie Ink Spotlight series, where we lift up bold voices and unsung stories from the world of independent authors. Join our AI hosts, Jane and Dane, as they explore featured works that deserve the mic. From hidden gems to raw revelations, these are the stories that move beneath the mainstream. Who has time to read? You do, with Witter.
Welcome to Witter, deep dives for busy minds.
Yeah, we know you're busy.
Exactly. But you still want to, discover new things, maybe find that next great read.
And that's what we do here. We dive into the sources.
Pull out the good stuff, the insights, and just hand them over. And today is really special. It's the first deep dive in our brand new Saturday series, Indie Ink Spotlight.
We've been really looking forward to this one. It's a fantastic idea, shining a light on indie authors, debut authors.
Voices that maybe aren't getting the huge platform, but are doing really bold, interesting work.
Yeah, finding those gems. Exactly.
Absolutely. And we couldn't have picked a better book to start with, I think. It's Ithandryll, Song of the Side, Book 1 by Nikki Auberkett.
A great choice.
So today on Indie Ink Spotlight, we're diving into Ithandryll, Song of the Side, Book 1, a story that, well, it really asks what happens when the life you thought you knew just unravels.
And something else, something totally unexpected starts calling to you.
Yeah. So let's start with the author, Nikki Auberkett. You mentioned her background is pretty fascinating.
Oh, it really is. She's a cultural anthropologist.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, with a background specifically in archaeology and global folklore. And you can immediately see how that academic side, weaves into her fiction.
How does that manifest in the story?
Well, she takes these real-world discoveries, these cultural theories, ancient myths, and then she asks these great what-if questions.
Like what? Give us an example.
Okay, so what if the Fae folk weren't just hiding, but maybe they actually built parts of downtown Chicago?
Oh, interesting. Sort of weaving magic into the actual history of a place.
Exactly. Or what if the Fomorians, those figures from Irish myth, often seen as kind of monstrous.
Yeah.
What if they exist today, but maybe within, say, marginalized communities? It's taking these ancient ideas and seeing how they might intersect with our world now.
That gives the fantasy such a different feel, doesn't it? More grounded almost, like it has roots.
It really does. It adds this layer of history and complexity.
Okay.
So Ithandryll is book 1 of her Song of the Seed series.
Okay.
And she's already getting some serious recognition in the indie scene. Her first novel, Prax, that was a finalist and long-listed for the Page Turner Book Awards.
Nice.
And Ithandryll itself was also long-listed for a Page Turner Award, and it got an honorable mention and a 5-star review from Reader's Favorite.
Wow.
Plus another 5-star from Midwest Book Review. So, yeah, people are noticing.
That's fantastic validation for an indie author. It's a tough space.
Absolutely. And she's clearly, really part of the writing world. She was a guest copy editor for the Irish Journal of Anthropology.
Tying back to the folklore roots.
Exactly. And she's also worked as a developmental editor for other indie novels, ones that actually went on to win awards themselves.
So she's contributing to the community, too. I like that. And the bio has some fun personal detail.
It does. Apparently, after living in downtown Chicago, which is, important for this book's setting, she moved to the Amana colonies in Iowa. She calls it her Stars Hollow phase.
I love that reference. Gilmore Girls fans will get that.
Definitely. And she started a pop-up indie bookstore there, Bumble Books, inside another local shop.
That's brilliant. Very hands-on.
Yeah. And the bio mentions things like sipping coffee, making big paper crafts, occasionally face planting on her laptop.
Relatable.
And whispering to kobolds who apparently live in her house.
Okay, kobolds. That adds a certain something, gives you a real sense of her personality, kind of quirky and creative.
Totally. And hey, if you get hooked on Ithandryll, the story doesn't end there.
Oh.
Her next book, the follow-up, is called Heir of Oberon, Song of the Side, Book 2. It's actually up for pre-order now.
When's it out?
It's set to release June 15th, 2025. So not too long to wait for more.
Good to know, so people can dive deeper into her work soon.
Definitely encourage you to check it out. That blend of myth and modern reality is really unique.
Okay, let's dive into the book itself, Ithandryll. We start with the main character, Roxy Lovegood. She's just arrived in Chicago.
Yeah, and the author does a great job grounding us right away. You feel her situation. She's got hardly anything with her. She's on this super tight, calculated budget. And you sense this emptiness.
Yeah.
Friends, family, and she keeps thinking about this specific hymn. Something definitely happened.
There's this feeling of her life being kind of shattered, maybe.
Absolutely. Painful upheaval. And the contrast is really sharp because she moves into this apartment complex, Le Nouveau.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Right, a refurbished old hotel, beautiful neighborhood near the lake. Seems like a lucky break.
Almost too lucky. And this fancy setting just makes her own precariousness stand out even more, She's surrounded by luxury but feeling totally adrift.
And the author gives us these little physical clues about her state, this recurring pinch she feels.
Yeah, like a physical pain and ache that pops up even when she tries to feel calm.
And the mirrors, she's afraid of mirrors, especially the one in her new closet, takes it down immediately. What do you make of that?
It screams trauma, doesn't it? Something deep and unresolved that's affecting her physically and mentally. The mirror thing, maybe she can't face herself, or what she sees reminds her of something terrible. It just hooks you emotionally right away.
Definitely adds mystery. Her main support seems to be her best friend, Cam.
Ah, Cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's her rock. Even though the book hints he's in some kind of facility.
Right, there are these hushed tones, like, when I get out of here.
Yeah, but their connection is so strong. He sends her that deep dish pizza feast, perfect Chicago comfort food when she's feeling isolated.
Their dialogue feels so real, too. That playful, aye, aye, Captain, and I love you, too. You feel a history there?
He's her anchor to her old life, really. The last bit of solid ground before everything flips upside down.
And that flip happens pretty dramatically.
It really does. She's feeling overwhelmed, maybe drifts off on a beach, and wakes up to a deer. But not just any deer.
A magical one.
Seems like it. And apparently the deer actually rolls its eyes at her when she hesitates.
That's a great touch. Like the magic world is impatient.
Totally. Like, come on, lady, keep up. And she follows it into a forest, and boom, everything changes.
Suddenly lost, no map, no plan. Her human resources list is useless.
Totally useless. She runs into some young women, but then things get terrifying fast. Men start chasing her. It feels like a hunt.
A race to capture her.
Seems like it. It's this sudden, brutal plunge into a hidden world she never knew existed. And that's when Devin shows up.
The hero moment.
Kinda, yeah. Dark-haired guy saves her from one attacker, this guy Nicholas. And then his sister, Melissa, they call her May, helps her too. She's a medical student.
So they offer her refuge, and this is where she starts learning.
Exactly. Learning who they are. They're Fae, the side, specifically the Tuatha De Danann from Irish myth.
Wow, the legendary ones.
Yeah, but again, the author gives it a twist. They're evolved, no wings, maybe slightly pointed ears on some, but they live in the modern world, have jobs. May's studying medicine.
It grounds them, makes them feel more real than just, fairy tale creatures.
Right. It's that blend again.
Yeah.
Ancient myth, modern reality. And Roxy learns there's this weird race going on among the Fae nobility.
A race for what?
It seems tied to finding brides, maybe an old custom or obligation. And Devin is clearly not thrilled about participating.
So Roxy's caught up in all this Fae politics and tradition now.
Pretty much. She starts traveling with Devin and May, trying to figure out this world hidden under Chicago, and the world building comes through their journey.
What kind of things do they see?
Oh, all sorts. There are sirens, but they're on this weird riverboat that defies physics. There are these scary creatures called Skellige harpies, too.
So it's dangerous.
Definitely, but also complex. They visit Shiorna Springs, which is like a spa run by Fomorians.
The Fomorians. From a myth, running a spa.
I know, right? It's that unexpected twist again. Taking these ancient, often monstrous beings and putting them in this almost mundane setting. And they see the damage done by things like Skellige venom in ruined places like Brunag.
So it's a world with beauty, danger, weirdness.
And history. You feel the layers.
Yeah.
And through all this, these themes start coming through really strongly.
Like what?
Well, definitely belonging. Roxy's struggling so hard. She's human, lost in this Fae world. But then later, she finds this strange connection, almost an affinity with the Fomorians.
Interesting. What else?
Power. There's this moment at the spa where she's cornered and suddenly this huge surge of magic bursts out of her. She didn't even know she had it. She actually commands the Fomorians.
Whoa. So she has hidden depths.
Totally. And crucially, trauma. Her past isn't just backstory, it's present. Her history with this guy, Alex Black, the abuse, the gaslighting, the attack, and this awful recurring nightmare about a miscarriage.
God, that sounds heavy.
It is. And it explains so much. Her fear, the pinch, the mirror thing, her struggle to trust anyone, learning to trust Devin, May, others. That's a huge part of her journey.
It sounds like the author handles that with real sensitivity.
I think so. The voice feels really grounded, very reflective, focused on Roxy's emotional reality, even with all the magic swirling around. The dialogue reveals so much about the relationships. It feels like a very human story at its core.
Even with fae and monsters running around.
Yeah, exactly. That grounding makes the fantasy so much more impactful. You really feel for Roxy.
So in a book that seems packed with action, emotion, world building, is there one moment that really crystallized it for you? A standout scene that captures the heart of the story?
For me, yeah. It's got to be the scene during the Ténol. That's the High Council meeting for the Sidhe.
Okay, sounds intense.
It is. Roxy's right to even be with Devin is being challenged, mainly by this Lord Baldraith, and the stakes are terrifyingly high.
Like, what could happen?
The council could forbid her from being with Devin, or, worst case, they could basically sell her into slavery in the borderlands.
Oh my God, she's completely vulnerable there, isn't she? A human facing this ancient fae council.
Totally vulnerable. And the challenge hinges on proving her worth, her legitimacy, which might mean revealing her past. And May already tried to protect her by burning her medical history, knowing the Fae might not understand human trauma.
So the pressure is immense. What does Roxy do?
She's given this vial. It contains something that lets the council see her memories. It's called Smriti.
A magical truth-telling memory viewer?
Sorta, yeah. But it means showing them everything, all her deepest pain, her trauma, stuff she probably desperately wants to keep hidden.
Does she go through with it?
She does. It's this incredibly brave, incredibly raw moment. She chooses to let them see it all.
What do they see?
They see her relationship with Alex Black, how he turned abusive, the gaslighting, the physical attack where he tried to strangle her.
Jesus.
And then that recurring, devastating nightmare, being held down, cut open, losing her baby, the miscarriage trauma laid bare.
That's incredibly powerful, just laying herself open like that. Why is that moment so significant for the book?
Because it's the ultimate act of vulnerability, right? She's facing judgment, and she chooses radical honesty, even though it means reliving hell. It forces this ancient magical world to confront the harsh reality of human suffering, the kind of darkness from the outworld that has shaped who she is.
It connects her past pain directly to her present struggle in this new world.
Exactly. It explains her fear, her trust issues, everything. It grounds the entire conflict in her lived human experience. It's where her past and her fae present just collide with full force.
And how does the council or Devin react?
Well, it's intense. But crucially, Devin fiercely defends her. He stands up and declares, "My Anamkara is legitimate." Amkara, that means soulmate in Irish. He's claiming their bond, accepting her completely, trauma and all.
Wow.
Yeah. It challenges the council not just on rules, but on empathy, on accepting her fully. It's such a pivotal, emotionally resonant moment. It really defines her courage and their connection.
That sounds like a scene that would definitely stay with you.
Oh.
So, stepping back from that intensity, what's the overall feeling, the takeaway vibe after you finish Ithandryll?
It feels like you've been on this journey through a really richly imagined world, ancient, magical, but also familiar in weird ways. But the core feeling, I think, is about resilience. It really digs into how trauma shapes us, the echoes it leaves, but it also shows how strength and belonging can be found in the most unexpected places.
Even when you feel completely lost or like you don't fit in.
Exactly. It explores the complexity of healing, of trust.
Yeah.
Even magical relationships aren't simple or easy. It's fantasy, for sure, but with this deep, deeply felt emotional core running through it.
So fantastical escape, but with real emotional weight.
Yes. That's a great way to put it. It's magical, but it feels real on an emotional level. It resonates.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive on Ithandryll's Song of the Sidebook 1, maybe a question for you, the listener, to think about. How do the experiences we try hardest to forget, maybe the times or places where we felt most lost, how do those sometimes, unexpectedly, lead us to discover our deepest strengths.
And maybe lead us to the people who really, truly see us for who we are.
That's a good thought to sit with. And hey, if you are an independent or debut author out there crafting bold, thoughtful stories,
We want to hear from you.
yes. Our Indie Ink Spotlight series was built to amplify voices like yours. Submitting is easy. Just email us with the subject line, Community Exchange, to our inbox, whittlepodcast@gmail.com. Seriously, we can't wait to read what you've created.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning into this first Indie Ink Spotlight. It was great diving into this book.
We really hope you enjoyed this exploration of Ithandryll's Song of the Side Book 1 by Nikki Auberkett. Join us next time for another Witter Deep Dive.